Hey y'all, welcome back. My name is Jessica Lockie and I'm your favorite lock girl on this side of the internet. And today we're going to be talking about what my hair looks like 5.5 weeks post retightening and what I'm doing to prepare for this next retie. Let's go. Alright, so getting your retie done should be on a cycle, and your loctician should let you know what that cycle should look like. I stay on a 4 to 6 week rotation, and I keep my clients on the same rotation. However, once you're more mature, sometimes you have the ability to kind of stretch out 1 or 2 more weeks. Upon the growth rate of the hair, lifestyle of the person with the locks, and a bunch of different factors that play into whether or not you can go a little bit over time or you have to stick around at 4 or 5 weeks. I don't recommend the 4 or 5 weeks, the entirety lock journey, unless it is highly recommended due to the amount of slippage that you have, things like that. But if you can stick around at 5 weeks, 5 to 6, that's just kiss. I highly recommend doing the 4 weeks if you're like early on into your journey, just because it's easier to catch the slippage earlier on and repair those things and get them taken care of so that you can have a healthy journey. And then once you begin to actually bud and lock, then going a little bit farther, going a little bit longer won't hurt you too bad. As someone who self-installed and self-maintains, I stick to 5 weeks. 5 weeks is my sweet spot simply because it's not too much new growth to where I can't manage it on my own. I'm not getting too frustrated and flustered, but it's also enough new growth to where I'm not doing my hair too frequently. I have a few that have grown at different rates. I'm gonna zoom on in, girl. Hold on, let's see. Alright, so right here, we up close and personal, girl. You see this? I'm trying to record on this background so that you can see. Look, that's why you pull tension when you do your retightening. You see? So that is where my new growth is, right here around my edges. It's time for a wash, girl. So today I'm going to shampoo. All right, so I have about a 1/2 inch to a full inch of new growth, depending on where the area is. Mainly around my edges is that inch. My growth rate is pretty fast. It's pretty up to par with the 1/2 inch a month growth rate, the normal growth rate. So I try to stick to that 5 weeks so that it's manageable during my retightenings. Alright, so what am I doing to prepare for my self retie this go around? It's the same thing I always do. I'm going to braid and band and wash. I still braid and bands. However, if I go over my 10 to 12 days for my wash, which is my general wash routine, if I go over that, or if I sweat extra in my hair, if I do some extra activities throughout that 2-week period, I wash first, then braid immediately after. Follow me over on TikTok or any of the other platforms, you'll kind of see that I have been doing that as well. I still do have some slippage here and there, so I immediately braid. I don't even play the radio. I immediately braid my hair down to ensure that it's drying in those plaits and keeping the slippage at a minimum. Since I have gone a little bit over and I've been a little bit more active, using some more sweat in my scalp, I will be using some Sulfur 8 to shampoo this time. So I'll be using Sulfur 8 and then I'll be following up with a moisturizing shampoo from Design Essentials. Sulfur 8 does not smell the best. It is one of my go-tos for my clients who have flaky and itchy scalp, who sweat in their scalp, who have dirty scalps from their everyday routine, as well as those who might need a little bit more balance in their scalp. So that's pretty much what I'm feeling this time for myself, just needing a little bit more balance, getting back on track, also clarifying, so getting those dirts and oils out of my scalp and resetting for this retire. Now with the Design Essentials, that's going to add some much needed moisture back into my hair and scalp. It's also going to make my hair just a little bit more manageable and not leave it feeling dry and crunchy and brittle, especially during a retightening. Now sometimes I will, even with my clients, sometimes I will spritz just a little bit of water in the process just to make those rotations a little bit more manageable, especially if there is a lot of marrying or joining of the locks in the scalp. That helps to kind of make them a little bit more easy to manipulate, pull apart without breaking the hairs. So from just going through my scalp this time, I do feel a lot of joining and a lot of potential marriages up in my scalp. So I will be probably spritzing with some water throughout the process just to make it a little bit more manageable and not feel like I'm doing too much pulling and yanking on my hair. Pretty much, of course, begin to lock. I have some areas where my ends have, are still pretty loose and curly. Can you see that? Yeah, she's still pretty loose and curly. For the most part, I've been going through during my reties, the past, I would say 4. The past like 4 retightenings, I have gone through and started to lock my ends down. It's doing pretty well holding This one has a little bud on the end. You see her. I know it's controversial with these little buds on the end. Girl, I don't pull them simply because it really doesn't bother me all that much. Now, if it accidentally gets pulled when I'm doing the style, or if I'm just in my daily life and it accidentally gets yanked off, I'm not going to cry about it. However, I'm not going to intentionally go in and pull the buds off. Before you do that, I would actually recommend just cutting them off. Just because if you pull it... Now, this doesn't always happen. However, there is a chance of it because with Microlocs, the part is so small, meaning there are so little hairs within that actual lock. You pull that bud, just imagine your clothes getting caught in something on the wall or on the car or whatever, and a small string gets pulled out of line. Just imagine pulling it and everything just unraveling. That's how I imagine pulling buds off would manipulate your locks. That strand would pull, and like in my head, I see that whole hair going up the lock and just tearing it all apart, girl. I don't know. So I do not recommend pulling them. However, cutting them, it would not harm anything. Now, these two in particular, I can't remember if I went back in and locked them down at the ends. I don't think so, because they look pretty mature. Not fully mature, but like they look pretty mature, and these ends look pretty closed as well. So yeah, girl, we have some ends that are closing. We will be rolling up on 2 years after this retightening, so my hair has changed quite a bit. And of course, it's easier for someone else to see when they might see me once a month, or they might see me, you know, twice a year or whatever, as opposed to me, girl, I see this hair every single day. So I may not always see the changes and pay as close attention to the changes as someone else might, but I can definitely tell that they have changed so much. Right, what we're doing for moisture. So after I wash today, I will be, of course, drying in my braids, and I will spray with The.LockShopp from The.LockShopp.com. That's pretty much all I'm using for moisture lately. It just provides everything that I need. It helps with scalp moisture of my actual lock strands, and stay moisturized. But it's not overly moisturized. Like, I don't have any oily residue from my hair, but it's a light moisture because it's water based, and it has some slight butters and oils in it that help seal. Sometimes I might scratch my scalp, or you know, take too long to wash my hair, and then I go back in and wash. It kind of helps me replenish that moisture. It also helps with itchiness. I do get itchy scalp if I'm not washing my hair frequently enough. That is why I try to stay on that 10 to 12 day schedule with my wash routine, simply because, girl, I would just be, I'll just be scratching and itching, scratching, and that's not cute, okay? I just feel the micro tears that I'm creating in my scalp, and that's not cool. So The.LockShopp from The.LockShopp.com. Also infused with calendula. That will help repair broken skin and regenerate skin cells in order to heal the scalp. I think that's pretty much all I have for today, y'all. I am gonna go ahead and get these combs and clips out, girl. Go ahead and wash this hair with this Sulfur 8 and this Design Essentials, honey, and braid my hair and make sure that everything is prepared and completely dry before I start my retightening today, or tonight, or tomorrow. I don't know. Either way it goes, this retightening to be started. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna wash it today, let it dry, and start my retie tomorrow. My wrists are still just not where they need to be, and I ordered some more copper wrist sleeves yesterday, so hopefully those come in and they can assist me with this retightening. But yes, girl, I hope you enjoyed this video, and please let me know what you would like to see next. And I'm trying to think of more lock content to post, and y'all just let me know what you want to see. Y'all ain't told me nothing, so I'm just coming out the side of my neck, girl, hoping that you like it. I'm throwing something against the wall, hoping it stick, okay? So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Please comment below and let me know, when is your next retie? What schedule do you stay on? Do you stick with the four weeks? Are you a 6-week girly? 8 weeks? With Microlocs and larger locks, it's okay to go a little bit longer, especially if you have a normal growth rate. But yes, girl, I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see y'all next time. Don't forget to follow me on everything, girl. All right, y'all. Bye.